Starting NFL GameDay Pick'Em in the Bay Area, where the 49ers are hosting the Cardinals as 4-point favorites. How do you see that one playing out?
Well, after running 10,000 simulations for each and every game, including this one, I have the Cardinals pulling off the upset 21-19 in a low-scoring game.
Couple of different quarterbacks this time around, but still a huge game for both teams. Eagles favored by 3. TD, the Vikings have not been able to run the ball. They ranked dead last. How do they fix that this week?
Well, number one, you have to run the ball more. This team, 3 out of the last 4 games, they've trailed at halftime. They've come out throwing the ball 86% after halftime. They're only averaging 18 rushing attempts per game. You got to run the ball more to be effective. Bottom line.
Dalvin Cook's had those hamstring issues. O-line's been a little bit banged up. Cynthia, the Vikings on defense, top 10 in sacks. Should that worry Carson Wentz?
The short answer, no. Carson Wentz, good in the pocket. Carson Wentz, good not in the pocket. Second best passer rating under pressure this season. You saw it come back last game, the connection with his receivers. I think he throws it all over the yard this week.
Might be throwing it to the other team, too. Anyway.
Well, we'll find out. Time for our picks. I'll kick things off, and I'm just going to say it. Fly, Eagles, fly. Big game for Zach Ertz against these linebackers who struggle in coverage.
Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles. Sorry, Vikings, but the O-line gives up the most pressures in the NFL. I just don't feel good about the Vikings. Eagles.
I got to break rank here. I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings here. Listen, the Vikings, do you see Kirk Cousins last week? Do you see the boy balling out? He was balling. And plus, the Eagles, they're not healthy. A lot of banged up bodies on that side of the football. Give me the Vikings to win this one. Upset alert.
Okay, well, you take that, and I'll beat you by saying the Eagles are going to win 26-24. I think it's going to be a lower-scoring game than most people might imagine in this one, but I like the Eagles to come out on top. Your boy Carson Wentz.
I just made up some ground today.
Okay. All right, let's move on down to the Lone Star State for the Battle of Texas. Both the Cowboys and Texans had walk-off wins last week. The Cowboys 2-2. The Texans finally got their first W last week. The Texans are 3-point favorites in this one at home. TD, obviously a huge week for Zeke last week against the last-placed run defense Lions. Do you see the same thing happening against the Texans?
No, the Texans aren't the last-place rush defense, number one. You see Clowney out there? You see Watt out there last week?
Monsters.
Listen, man, they held Saquon Barkley to 82 rush yards and a touchdown. They'll hold Zeke to about the same. He might get 100 yards, but they'll hold him in check. He won't go crazy like he did last week.
By the way, who knew that Zeke Elliott was the best wide receiver on the Cowboys?
Yeah, Zeke scored 1 or 2 touchdowns, TD.
I don't think Zeke knew that.
I know he didn't. All right, Cynthia, Cowboys offensive line has to face J.J. Watt, J.D. Clowney. How does that matchup pan out? How are you seeing that?
Well, Clowney and Watt have combined for 31 pressures so far this season. TD, is that a lot?
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a whole lot. And Dak under pressure only averages 2.3 yards per passing attempt. Advantage Texans defense.
All right, so let's start it off with game picks, Cynthia.
Texans 25, Cowboys 21. I think it's all about their ability for Deshaun Watson to keep his offense going.
I'm with you with that. You have Fuller, you have Hopkins, and even a new guy, Kiki, just come out of nowhere to help that offense. Give me the Houston Texans taking this one. I love them over the Cowboys.
I love you both, but you are both wrong. How can the Texans score if they can't even keep their quarterback upright? They are second most in allowing Watson getting sacked, 17 sacks so far.
But he's mobile.
Deshaun has thrown for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, 3 straight games. Plus, he has Kiki QT. How can you not love QT? I'm going Texans. Meanwhile,
y'all are wrong.
Down to New Orleans, where a couple of first-place teams square off Monday night. The Redskins beat the Packers 2 weeks ago, and they're coming off a bye while the Saints just throttled the Giants in Jersey 33-18. Saints favored by 6.5, and they get Mark Ingram back from suspension. What does he add to this top 5 offense?
Well, he allows them to be more flexible with their offense. You can take Kamara, flex him out there, and you still have the threat or the challenge of a dominant running game with Mark Ingram in the backfield. I love this, him coming back, man. That's a great thing. They'll be more flexible with him. I think Sean Payton would know exactly how to use him.
Cynthia, the Saints 30th against the pass this year. What does that mean for Alex Smith?
I think it does mean the return of the deep pass this week. If you have one of their receivers, you might want to play them in fantasy. For me, I think the Saints defense is trending up, but I think Alex Smith deep passing returns this week. This week.
All right, pick time. I bleed burgundy and gold, but I'm going with the Saints. I think this is going to be a track meet. I don't see the Redskins being able to keep up little.
Drew Brees is 18-6 in prime time at the Superdome. I'm going Saints.
I got to go Saints. I agree with you guys, man. I think Drew Brees and his offense, they are just high-octane offense. Not enough power for the Redskins to keep up with. Give me the Saints at home.
Big or little?
I'm going big in this one, actually.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going big.
All right, I have the Saints 30, the Redskins 22. You have bigger than that?
No.
Okay, I think it's going to be a lower scoring game than most people believe in because of their defensive front for the Redskins.
Clean sweep for the Saints. All right, more game picks in just a bit, peeps, but let's talk individual performances. In more or less, Matt Ryan, Big Ben combined for 650 passing yards TD.
Yeah, I'm going to go more here. Both of these guys are averaging more than 320 passing yards per game. Both of their defenses stink right now, so these guys should get more than that.
I'm going less on this one. And
Whoa.
I think it's going to be a lower scoring game than most people think because you know what? James Conner's going to be able to run. Safeties help stop the run, right? Middle linebackers help stop the run, right? Falcons are missing all of those. Less.
Yeah, defensive tackles help stop the run, too. Grady Jarrett's out. Eagles defense going to have 2 sacks against the Vikings, more or less, TD.
This is pretty low. 2 sacks for the entire defense. I thought it was just a defensive line. But I'm going more here. Cousins is pretty easy to get to. I mean, you know, last time they got him, they flushed him out of the pocket a few times. So I'm saying more sacks for the Philadelphia Eagles.
I think Fletcher Cox himself could have 2 sacks in this one. So I'm definitely going for more here. I like this defensive front for the Eagles. That's not where their problem is.
This unit led the league last year in QB hits, so FYI. Finally, Todd Gurley will have 125 scrimmage yards against the Seahawks.
Oh, this is more. I mean, going more. Right? He's averaging more scrimmage yards. I think it's like 133 or something like that. So he's averaging more for the season. Plus, it's Todd Gurley, and they'll find ways to get him the football. So I'm going more here. Seattle's not the same defense like they used to be.
Cynthia?
I totally agree with you on more here. I think that most people think maybe this could be a blowout and maybe they could be playing way from ahead. So Malcolm Brown could even have some nice yards this game. But I still think Gurley gets at least 125 scrimmage yards.
Yeah.
Well, something's got to give when the Jags and Chiefs play on Sunday. It is a meeting of the NFL's top offense and top defense. Only the 6th time it has happened in the last 15 years. The top offense, by the way, 5-1 in those previous meetings. The Chiefs are favored by 3 in this one. TD, Kareem Hunt, he had a huge night against your Broncos.
He did.
Do you see that happening against this Jags defense that's ranked 10th in run defense?
Yeah, no, I do not, man. This run defense, they saw what Kareem Hunt did to the Broncos. They're not going to allow that to happen again because they're very stout up front. Calais Campbell, Jackson, they won't allow that to happen. So I would say lessen that. They'll keep him in check. He won't have a big day like he did against the Broncos. All
right, I'm going to ask you this, Cynthia. How about slowing down Pat Mahomes? Can the Jags do that?
Well, slowing him down, probably, but not enough to win. I have this one where all this defensive speed changes how Pat Mahomes really plays. This is a game where he could potentially get that first pick because of the way they play and their spacing, defensive spacing.
So I think I have an idea of which direction you're going to go with the picks here.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs. 28-24 in this one. I think it's going to be a higher score than most people think. I think people think it's going to be a very low score because of the Jags defense, but I think a higher score.
How about a medium score? I'm going to go with the Jags here. The defense is so good. They have allowed only 4 touchdowns all season long. Plus, I'm buying Blake, TD. Just saying.
I got you there, man. You ever see the movie Rocky IV when he says the Russian is cut?
Yes.
Well, you know what? The Jaguars, they saw that Mahomes, he's cut. He is human. He's not a machine. They saw that. So they're going to come out there and keep him in a phone booth, get after Mahomes, and they will win this game. Give me the Jaguars.
I liked what the Broncos did to Pat Mahomes the first 3 quarters. They sort of kept him in check. I say the Jags are going to do it for 4 quarters.
Oh, look at that.
By the way, who wins championships?
Defense.
That's what I
Tell
them. All right, it is time for On the Hook, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. TD, who is on the hook for an upset win this week?
Who's on the hook is going to be the Detroit Lions upsetting the Green Bay Packers here. I love what I saw the last couple of weeks from the Detroit Lions. They should be 3-1 here. This is a number 2 pass defense, so they get the job done. They're really good in third downs as well. That's the money downs. So give me the upset right here. Those Detroit Lions.
The Lions could pull off the surprise upset. Speaking of which surprise teams are here to stay in 2018? Which ones are fizzling out? Find out Sunday, NFL Game Day morning. Be sure to join Rich and the gang. 9 a.m. It is only on NFL Network. Dan?
To Pittsburgh now, where the Steelers are favored by 3 over the Falcons. And this Falcons defense so banged up right now. Can they slow down that Steelers offense?
So I think the reason here that they can't slow down the offense is because of the multiple different ways that they can attack them. They got obviously the passing game here is going, but James Conner in that run game, those safeties, they're gone. Middle linebacker's gone. The answer is no.
Yeah, very weak up the middle right now. TD, Devontae Freeman expected to be back. What does he do for this Falcons offense?
Yeah, already a high-powered offense with those Atlanta Falcons. He just gives them a little bit more weaponry there. He's a very good running back. If he's in there, they're going to be able to spread him out, run the ball a lot more with that offense. So they're going to have themselves a really good back, and he's going to have a really good day against those Pittsburgh Steelers.
I am going to start us off with the game picks, and I'm going with the Steelers at home. Of course, Falcons lose another key defensive starter in Grady Jarrett. He's the guy that's the run-stuffing blocker. James Conner, I think, is going to go off, so give me the Steelers, TD.
This is a tough one for me. I'm struggling with this pick here, but I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons for two reasons. One, every time I pick the favorite home team, they lose, so I'm going with the Falcons here. And number two here, this is kind of who gets the ball last sort of mentality here, so I'm going with the Falcons. They will have the ball, drive down, win this game, the last seconds of the game.
All right, how about you, Dan?
Very thorough reasoning
So
for TD in that one. Listen, Pro Bowlers don't grow on trees. They're down 2 Pro Bowlers on defense, 4 out of their top 6 defensive players. I don't see the Falcons hanging with the Steelers in this one.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I have it in a close one. I have the Steelers coming out on top, 28-26. I think it's going to be a lower scoring version of what TD described as the last person with the ball, not a higher scoring version of it.
All right, for more on the AFC North, a whole lot more, here's Dave Dameshek in 60 seconds.
Hi and hello, football fans. Your old pal Dave Dameshek here. You know, I hate patting myself on the back, but as I told you they would, the football gods frowned on Baker Mayfield's Browns last week in Oakland.
An absolute heartbreaker.
This week in Cleveland, only the Ravens will be smiling as Baker throws 2 more interceptions. By the by, I also told you Nick Chubb would score his first touchdown last week. He did, and he'll do it again in a Browns loss. Again. Last week I told you Derek Carr would throw at least 2 touchdowns, and he did. This week he'll do that again, but his foe Phil Rivers will throw at least 3. Yes! I told you Josh Rosen would look good, but the Seahawks would win, and so that came to pass because Seattle ran a lot. This week they won't be able to run or pass, scoring 17 or fewer against the NFC team I told you in the preseason was Super Bowl bound.
And they sweep September.
That's the LA Rams. Oh, and Patrick Mahomes, he'll throw 0 passes left-handed. And if I may, Patrick, I know you're just a kid. Stick with the right arm. It's plenty strong. Happy football, everybody. I'll talk to you all next week.
Check, so smooth. Time for a quick pick. Cynthia, let's do it. Packers, Lions, go.
I have the Packers coming out on top, 24-21. Aaron Rodgers doesn't seem to have very many wideouts left because of injuries, but Aaron Jones, I think he sees at least 6 of those points, maybe even more.
Giants, Panthers going at it in Charlotte.
Panthers 26, Giants 18. The Panthers defense makes a huge difference in this one. I'm not sure Eli Manning can get past them. My model loves the Panthers big.
How about the Ravens and the Browns?
Ravens 25, Browns 21. That Ravens defense isn't going to be allowing the Baker Mayfield and the Browns to establish the run. I think Joe Flacco and that offense eats.
Quick recap of some of our picks so far. TD, a lone wolf with the Vikings and the Falcons. We're saying clean sweep for the Saints, the Panthers, and the Ravens. All right, let's play a little high-scoring, low-scoring. The Rams averaging 35 points per game. The Seahawks 21. High or low, Cynthia?
I'm going low on this one. I have the Rams coming out on top, 28-19. I think it's going to be a slower-paced game than we've seen all around.
The Raiders and the Chargers, Oakland averaging 24 a contest. Chargers going for 28, high or low in this one?
Well, I have the Chargers 29-26, which means that is a high-scoring game in this one. Look for some turnovers to really play a difference in who wins the game and how many points are scored.
Turnovers always a factor.
Turnovers.
Finally, Dolphins, Bengals. Miami scores about 21 a game, while the Bengals average 32. High or low here?
I have Miami hitting their average and the Bengals only getting 26. So by my math, that makes it a lower scoring game than you might imagine.
Cincinnati, by the way, the 4th highest scoring team in the NFL, right behind the Saints. Time now, TD, for your lock of the week.
My lock of the week was the last game Cynthia was talking about, the Bengals and the Miami Dolphins. Give me the Bengals here. The Miami Dolphins offensive line is decimated, beat up, and they're going up against a very good front in the Bengals there. And that is going to be the difference in this game.
All right, it is time for my favorite segment, Pick Six. 6 games. We're giving points to each pick. Your most confident pick gets this number right here. Your least gets one. Let's start with the Broncos taking on the Jets.
Well, I'm going with the Broncos in this one, and this one's pretty big. I have this one 5. Yes, it's a road win. Yes, it's a short week. They go to New York, and they get the win. 5, that's high.
That is high, and just so you know, Dan picked the Jets to win. Cardinals taking on the Niners.
We started the show with it. This was an upset.
Interesting.
I think Josh Rosen gets his first start. I know I may have said it last week, too, but you know what? I'm going there again.
By the way,
least confident, though.
C.J. Beathard's been playing pretty well.
I didn't blame him.
For Jimmy
I didn't
G.
blame him.
Cowboys and Texans.
Home team gets this one. Deshaun Watson's a difference maker for me. In this one, I have the 3.
All right, the middle of the pack there. The Jags and Chiefs, game of the week, could be game of the year, guys. You're going with Chiefs. You're the only one here that thinks the Chiefs
Yeah, I'm
are
the only one, and you guys are nuts.
4. Nuts, okay. The Titans and the Bills, I see a 6 and a 2 there.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how confident you are in this
Titans
pick.
claim they get no respect. Well, they get all the respect this week.
The Bills just can't keep Josh Allen upright. Vikings and Eagles.
All right, Eagles win this one. Home team wins. Second, not the most confident one, but number 2.
Okay, let's recap it. You have the Bills losing. That is your most confident pick.
And
yeah,
look,
the
I got a
Cardinals
fancy new icon here.
and Niners. You have Josh Rosen finally getting his first W.
Okay, here is a complete recap of where we stand as of right now. Cynthia Frelund, as you might expect, is in first place. I had a mad comeback last week, 10-3, by the way.
We know. We saw your Instagram story.
In second place. So congrats to Cynthia for taking the first quarter of the season. We just established today that the second quarter of the season loser will take a pumpkin pie complete with whipped cream in the grill.
To the mug.
And we're going to spray that sucker
all over. We all have to say aye? We all have to say aye?
Don't worry, it's okay. I actually deserve the first quarter, but we're going to wait till the second
give you
quarter.
the first quarter pie.
You know what? I think we're good, but you know what?
It's only fair you get the pie.
It's time.
You lost the first quarter.
Oh, I hear in my ear it's time to move on to Survivor pool picks.
No pie today. No pie today.
Right.
I wonder who's going to eat this. Let's start it off. Dan, you want to take it? Who is your Survivor pick
I'm going
this week?
Panthers. Alvin Kamara absolutely torched the Giants last week. A very similar running back, similar style, and Christian McCaffrey. And I would expect similar results. McCaffrey, of course, coming off a pretty monster game before his bye week as well.
Remember when you said the Giants were the top 10 scoring offense?
No, I don't.
Oh, maybe it was rehearsal, but he said that. My Survivor pick is the Titans. They are taking on the Bills. The Titans get after the quarterback. The Bills do not protect the quarterback. What does that spell? A Titans win. Although I do feel like this does feel like a little bit of a trap game. I'm going Titans, though.
I'm going with the Panthers on this one. I'm all about the Christian McCaffrey touchdowns, maybe even 2 in this one. Panthers.
Panthers. All right, now it's time for my pick. You can't see that, right?
Oh, wow, that's
with the lights. There you go, dim those lights. Where's the drum roll here? Here. This week, I'm on fire. Bam! Give me those Baltimore Ravens here. Listen. I get it. Listen, the Browns are playing extremely well. They are a tough out, no questions about that. Top 10 offense, top 10 defense. This team is complete team. As you can see in this league, give me these Baltimore Ravens.